Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do the Immortal Hulk, issue number 25 by Marvel Comics, covered by Alex Ross. We're going to continue with my love-hate relationship with this series, but more like, well, it's not really love, it's more also not hate, it's something in between. Definitely not love. My issue is Ewing. He did some cool things in here that I really like. But there's also some things that I think, dude, stop. This is one of those things. I'm gonna go through it, and I'm gonna tell you my thoughts. This is not the Hulk comic that you're gonna think it is. But let's dive in. So we are here in a dead space, and it's a creature called, I don't know how you call this percentage, but I call him Peril. Peril, that's how I name him. And he's in the sea of dead stars. And I'm gonna skip all this dialogue here, because in the end it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And it has some nice visuals, to be honest, although limited but still nice. And yeah, he is maybe an explorer, I don't know, but also L. Ewing or Marvel Comics in this case, or let's say L. Ewing is decide, hey, let's do waste 2 pages. Waste two pages of this, or let's say 3 pages, because he's doing this through this whole series. This is going to number 50. So I assume we see this crap that nobody cares about is going through issue number 50, right? All right, so he's docking on board on this ship, and he's meeting with another creature. And it seems that these two were once lovers. Now, here's the thing that makes it modern comics, right? The modern comics thing, I forgot what, is this 2022? Let me check real quick. Let me do this outside of the camera for now. Just give me a second. It's not really clear. 2019? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Anyway, we have 2 beings that were in love with each other. So a normal person would say, so these are male and female, right? No. These are, I'm using the modern comics term, non-binary, because if you read this here, so this is called Ferris and this is Peril, right? Ferris lives here head and here nucleus resolve once, spiraling through the permeating cues and greetings. Peril responds in an instant too slow, betraying here awkwardness. See what I mean? You know, we have to put this modern comics crap, this modern society, this modern sensibilities in here, although this is a couple of years ago, but it's still, you know, thankfully it's dying, right? When certain mentally ill people are forcing your pronouns and gender fluid on you. I mean, but somehow L. Ewing think it's cool to put this crap in here. And as you can see, you have to read it in a certain way, right? I mean, there is no comic in history, you know, from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, after 2002, I believe beginning 2015, 16, when all this BS started to happening, with this all, you know, when activists invaded the modern comics, or comics in general, make it in modern comics. When I say modern comics, it mostly is negative. And put this crap in here, right? I mean, it even reads not very well. It's just, you have to force it through it, right? So even in this very, very far future, we still have to deal with this nonsense. No wonder the sales of comics are very, very bad, right? I'm watching, you know, before this Thinking Critical, that's the YouTube channel. You should check him out. He's mostly on point when what's happening in comics. So Thinking Credible, that's his YouTube channel. Anyway, free promotion. So I don't know, there is stuff happening here. I'm not going into that, but it seems that something green is happening in the cosmos. you name it, it's the Hulk, right? And so she, I'm going to say it, says, can this creature be stopped? Says this guy to her. No, peril cannot be stopped. It will never stop making us pay. I don't know what that means. It's never going to be explained. Anyway, she says, I have made something for you. And there is an egg here, right? And this is supposed to be, I believe, a weapon or something that can turn the tide. And it's some kind of a creature. And it's a thing that goes back in, or can go back in time, make endless journey to arrive at this exact point in time they left behind, but never before that point, right? And it's called a tiding fly. So, but he says, well, you made an abomination. Why? I do not know, nor do I care to find out. Anyway, he has to take it with it, but he wants to still have made a connection with her, but he says, nah, she's not interested anymore, and she breaks the contact, and it says the ending is final. I believe she's also on a journey to dying. So it goes back into space, going on this journey, right, searching for some kind of a last star, and then he finds it here, and it's a planet called, I'm calling it Olos. Olos is here, and we see this text here. So I don't know what is supposed to be happening here. I think maybe the egg will be released here, creating new life. Maybe, probably not, because there's a green light. And oh no, it's the Hulk, and he's gigantic, and he has some kind of a clothes on. So is he, I don't know, cosmic Hulk right now? Why is the Hulk cosmic? What's happening here? I bet $100 or even more that it's never, ever going to be explained, right? So he is, of course, the breaker of worlds, right? You remember that when he came from Planet Scar and making the Avengers and Doctor Strange and people, like Reed Richards pay because of the Illuminati, breaker of worlds. And he had a fight with Sentry. Sentry lost because, well, it's the Hulk, right? And he's, killing this planet because, and millions of billions have died. Why he does that, do not know. But because he's the breaker of worlds, right? So why do you even have an explanation? But Peril has never seen a face before, because he is this non-entity. Well, he's a living being, but not as, human-like. He also never seen a smile before, right? Why is he smiling? Do not know. Anyway, so he tried to make contact by sending a probe to the Hulk, and then it seems that there is nothing in it. It's hollow, right? There's no soul, and I believe this is Betty Ross, I think, screaming into the void. Green rage, it says. And then the Hulk speaks to it. I am the one below all. With these hands I break, with these mouths I howl. I devour the cells that were here in the time long past. So this is probably not the real Hulk, or maybe Devil Hulk. Who knows? Now there is I, and only I. I am all powerful. My weapon is hate. Why? Don't know. I have made of this. This is a thing of hate. A hollow shell, a Hulk, a mystery frightens and disgusts me. I will kill it, make it as hollow as I, dead and dark as I, and I will be alone. Coming back to the reference that the Hulk wants to be alone, right? And so it grows, destroys this star with its hands. Peril here is his membrane, or here, Jesus Christ. His membrane ruptures and the inner fluid begins to leak, filling the Farsail's cabin with a sickly seed smell. He's dying, he's dead, right? The shell cracks of this egg, and there's something is coming out, and it's this tiding fly. He's born from death, right? Because he's spasming here in the background. It lifts his head heavy with hideous knowledge, and then the last life in the cosmos vanish on a journey 10 billion years deep. And only the breaker of worlds is left, alone with what is broken. No lights, no records, just green light and the Hulk being alone. And then the last... Why waste all these pages on this crap? All right, and then the Fly is here, I believe, back in time. And it's, oh no, it's Peril, or a creature like Peril. And it's the Thinker. What I'm saying, the leader. I'm not saying the Thinker. It's the leader, right? And that's the end of the comic. That's it. That's this whole waste of book is about the leader finding some kind of a glowing crystal with knowledge of what happened probably in the future with the Hulk, I think. And that's the book. That's the whole book. So my thoughts, it leads to the next issue, by the way. My thoughts, I've basically one thing to say. It's pretentious and it's not wanted. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.